Hey guys, I'm Terry Holland, trainer of NLP, hypnosis, and timeline therapy, and I'm going to try something a little different today. I'm going to try to broadcast both live on Facebook and over here on Instagram. So give me 1 second while I figure this part out of how to do the two things, all the things at once. Maybe this isn't going to work. Okay. Ah, 1 sec. Okay, so we're going to talk about resolutions tonight. Hey, for those of you on Instagram, I'm Terry Holland, trainer of NLP, hypnosis, and timeline therapy, and I'm trying for the first time ever to do a double broadcast. So I have Facebook over here and Instagram over here, and I'm going to see how this works instead of doing two different videos for two different audiences. So we'll try it, and if it's weird, we won't do it again. So let's talk about resolutions. First of all, let me know if you set resolutions. So give me a wave, like, say hello. Let me know. Do you set resolutions? So it's almost New Year's. It's next week. Next week, we start a brand new year. And this is, I think, the perfect time to be thinking about what do you want your year to be like? What is the next year going to bring for you? So do you set New Year's resolutions? So if you're on Facebook, leave me a message or give me a thumbs up. And if you're on Instagram, give me a little wave or let me know. Just comment below. So resolutions. So many people have different feelings about resolutions. And there's kind of two kinds of people, aren't there? People who set them and people who don't. And I've been asking this question on my social media, on Instagram and on Facebook. I've been asking, do you set resolutions? And I've had a few different answers. So I've heard everything from no, I do goal setting, to no, I set intentions, or I pick a word for the year. So let's talk about these. And I had Duet, if you're watching, Duet said to me earlier, she said, I set intentions. Is that a different thing? So yes, they are. And I promised that I would touch on that. Intentions and goals and resolutions are different things. Now, people say that they don't set resolutions because most resolutions fail, and that's true. Now, it's important to understand why resolutions fail. And for those of you just joining, I'm doing a double broadcast for the first time. So if I'm looking over here, I'm talking to Facebook. If I'm looking over here, I'm talking to Instagram, and we'll see how it works. So if it's weird, we just won't do it again. So the reason why most resolutions fail is because most people, when they set what they think is a resolution, it's not really a resolution. It's more like a wish. When you resolve something, it is finite. It is a decision in the moment that I will not do this thing anymore, or I resolve to start doing this thing. It is an instant change. It is a resolution to make a difference, to do something different, to change the way you do something, to change a pattern of behavior. It happens in an instant. Now, it's important to recognize that all learning, behavior, and change happens at the unconscious level. Change happens at the unconscious level. What we tend to try to do is make changes consciously, right? And that's where you have to think about it and focus on it. And that's when change takes a 21-day plan or a 60-day plan or a 12-month plan, and it's not effective. When change really happens, it happens at the unconscious level, and it happens in an instant like that. It doesn't mean that you don't decide to do it consciously first. It doesn't mean that you don't think about it consciously. But when the change actually takes place, that moment of decision to change your life, it happens in an instant, and it happens unconsciously on the unconscious level. That means the unconscious mind is involved in the process. Now, all of you watching, you've experienced that kind of change before. That's when you're going about your life, everything's fine, status quo, and then something happens. And in an instant, you decide to change something and you say, I can't do this anymore. I can't be this way anymore. I won't eat this way anymore. I won't drink like this. I won't smoke anymore. Whatever it is, you decide instantly that something has to change. That is a resolution. So if you want to make a resolution, you have to really be congruent inside that this is something you really want. And it's not putting a wish out there. So that's the difference between the people who succeed and the people who don't succeed at resolutions. What most people would call a resolution is no more than a wish. It's like saying, well, gee, I wish I make this change this year, or I hope I can do it this time, without actually resolving to change. Now let's talk about intention, because Duet had asked the question earlier about intention. Intention is different. Have you ever intended to do something and then not followed through? Has that ever happened? Right? Well, I intended to do that, or my intentions were good, but I messed up. Maybe you've heard people say before that they had good intentions, it just didn't go the way they planned. So if we're talking about setting an intention, it's kind of like giving ourselves an out, right? Because then I can always say, well, I intended to make this change this year. It just didn't work out, but my intentions were good. So intention is not the same as a resolution. A resolution is, I'm making this change, I'm doing it now. You resolve in the moment to make that change, and you do it in an instant. It doesn't require planning. It doesn't require thinking or strategy. It is just done. Making a resolution is like raising the bar on your life. It's saying, I'm going to up my game, drawing a line in the sand and saying, this is the new standard of my life, and I will not accept anything else. An intention is like, well, it'd be nice to change that. I'll try. Have you ever heard someone say, I'll try, and then succeed? Like, what happens if your friend says to you, I'll try to make it for lunch tomorrow? What are the odds of them actually showing up? Not very good. In fact, those of you watching right now, why don't you try to drop your phone or whatever device you're watching on? Just try to drop it. Now, hopefully you didn't drop anything, because I don't want you to break it. But that's the thing, is you can't try to do something. Like I have, here's a pen, right? This is me trying to drop my pen, and I'm going to try really hard to drop my pen, right? I'm trying really hard to drop this, and nothing is happening. That's what we do when we say we're going to try to do something. It's inactive, right? You either drop the pen, or I don't drop the pen. When we say I'm going to try to do something, that's what we're saying. We're not really doing it. It's a lot of effort. There's a saying out there that trying is failing with honor. It's an appearance of effort to do nothing. When we set an intention for the year, I believe that's what we're doing, is we're saying, I'm going to give this a try, but I have this backdoor exit that if it doesn't work out, or if I don't like it, I'll just back out. Whereas a resolution is finite. It is done. It is setting a new standard on life and saying, this is all I will accept from now on. I will not accept anything less of myself. That's what happens when you really set a resolution. Now, goals are a little different. So we've talked about resolutions. We've talked about setting intentions. We've talked about how most people, when they set resolutions, they're really just kind of setting a wish. Like, I hope this happens, but I really have no intention to make a change. A goal is different. A goal requires some strategy. Goals require time to actualize. So if you're saying, a common resolution this time of year is weight loss. So let's say that you're saying that your resolution is to lose 50 pounds this year. That's a good thing to do. That's a healthy decision to make. Now, that is not really a resolution. A resolution is, remember, instant. It is a new standard of life. It is finite. So the resolution could be, I'm adopting new healthy habits and I won't accept anything less for myself now. That's the resolution. The goal is to release 50 pounds. And then you set a SMART goal, right? It has to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time-based. So you put in a SMART goal frame, you make sure that it works out. In NLP, we say you test the ecology. So you make sure that the goal is We test the consequences of the goal to the self, make sure that it's congruent, that it's healthy. You test the consequences on how does this affect their immediate circle? How does this affect the community? And how does this affect the environment? And you make sure that everything is congruent and in alignment. So that's a goal. A goal takes time to actualize, and there's strategy involved in setting a goal. Resolutions are instant. It's that instant change. Now, you have all experienced change at the unconscious level at some point. That's when change happens immediately. I mentioned this earlier, and for those of you joining now on the live feed, I see we have a few new people on Instagram jumping in. When you make change at the unconscious level, it's in an instant, and you've experienced this before. Anytime you have said, this is no longer working for me, and you change something in that moment, that is change at the unconscious level. It happens in an instant, and it doesn't require lots of planning or strategizing or thought involved. It just happens. Those are the people who they quit smoking instantly. In a moment, they say, this no longer works for me. They put out the cigarette, they're done. Or the person who says, I can't live this way anymore, and they immediately change their habits and behaviors around food. Hey, Frida, thanks for joining us. So I think you should make resolutions. I think you should, but it's taking the time to think about, is this really the right thing for you right now? Are you prepared to go 100% of the way? Are you willing to do what it takes? Right? So if that means that you're giving up a habit, are you willing to see that through and really quit that thing? Or are you really willing to adopt a new pattern of behavior and change something? Setting a resolution is raising the bar on your life. It is changing the standard of what you're willing to accept in life. It is finite. I think resolutions are wonderful things. And I'll finish with this because those of you jumping in late, you might have missed this, but what most people set as resolutions are really wishes. Right? I'd like to do this. And they might say, that midnight on January 31st, after a couple glasses of champagne, they might say, I am quitting smoking this year. I'm doing it. I suggest that you take some time before January 1st, before midnight, to think clearly about what you want your life to be this year. Who do you want to be? How do you want to behave in this world, in your life? What are you willing to strive for and do? What are you willing to sacrifice in order to have it? Those become your resolutions. So, just to recap quickly, we've talked about resolutions. They're finite. They are definite. It's drawing the line in the sand. It's raising the bar, the standard of what you're willing to accept in life. And then we have intentions. Intentions are like kind of giving you the backdoor exit. Like, if this doesn't work out, it's okay. I intended to do it. I had good intentions. Personally, and some of you might be offended by this, it might sound a little harsh, but I think when people talk about setting intentions, it's a little wishy-washy, and it's an easy way out, to be honest. And then we have goals, and goals take time to actualize. They take strategy. So your resolution may have goals attached to it. But what are you determined to change this year? What's going to be different this year? Set a resolution, draw your line in the sand, and then stick to it with absolute volition and intention and goals and all of those things. So what is your line in the sand this year? And I would love to hear them. So feel free to message me, post them below. Oh, thank you, True and Blind. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. So feel free to let me know. Let me know what your resolution is this year. What are you determined to do differently? And I'm going to sign off. I'd love to hear from you. If you think this is valuable for someone else, please feel free to share it with your friends, and make sure that you like it. Leave me a comment. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video today. I hope this helps you as you're thinking towards the new year and what you want to do. And don't forget, I have the Goal Achievement Blueprint free for you to download to help you setting your goals this year. So download that. For those of you watching on Instagram, it's in my profile link. Click that, download it, fill it in. It's just for you. It's a way to map out what it is you want this year. It comes with a 3-part email series, including some hypnosis, recordings, some videos, some cool stuff in there. And if you're watching on Facebook, I'll share it in the link again under this video once I post it. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. This is kind of cool doing a double broadcast. I may try this again. And hope to see you guys again soon. All right. Have a good night. Bye.